you doing?
Yeah, hi Rishman, I'm fine. Hope
Great,
you're all
great.
fine and safe.
All well, sir. Thank you so much. So, very recently, I heard that the RBI has asked AD banks not to grant any approvals to foreign law firms for opening branch offices in India. Could you please help me understand exactly what this update is all about and why this was released?
Okay. So, yeah, I also went through that circular. Now, this is a pretty old issue. So whatever the circular says, this is not something new law. This is an old historical law. So let me just take you back in the history. Now, historically, there has always been an issue in the legal fraternity that foreign lawyers and foreign law firms should not be allowed to act in India.
Correct.
Currently, also, they cannot come and practice in India. But the issue is now why RBI? That's a very interesting proposition that how come RBI has come into this. Now, as a general law of in country, any foreign money which comes into India or any foreign money which goes out of India or any foreigner who is coming to India to open any kind of a commercial or financial transaction is governed by RBI. Now, currently we have a law which we call as FEMA, Foreign Exchange and Management Act. Prior to this, there was an act which we used to call as FERA, Foreign Exchange and Regulation Act 1973.
Correct.
Now, under FERA, if any foreign company had to open any kind of a license office or any kind of a branch office, they had to seek prior permission of RBI before setting up their offices in India since 1973 onwards. And that historically used to happen in various kind of industries, pharmaceutical, real estate, uh, any industry, you name it, right? So RBI always had that domain, and currently also RBI has that domain to allow or restrict any foreign national to come and practice any kind of a business, not only legal, any business in India. Now, what happened? Interestingly, somewhere around, I would say around 2009, there was an issue in Bombay High Court wherein some people had challenged that foreign lawyers cannot come and practice in India. Maybe some lawyers, some foreign law firms may have been practicing in India. Now, under Advocates Act, it is only an Indian who has a valid degree from an Indian law university and registered with Bar Council. Only an Indian can practice law in India. And when we say practice law in India, it means not only practicing in the courts, it also means a non-litigation side, like giving an opinions, drafting any agreements, and all of that nature. This is a clear restriction under the Advocates Act. Now, for some reason, maybe because of some loophole, some law firms may have been practicing that. As a result, somebody challenged in the Bombay High Court somewhere around 2008 2009. In December 2009, Bombay High Court ruled very clearly that foreign lawyers and foreign law firms cannot practice in India. So that issue got resolved there and then. Now, maybe simultaneously or somewhere around 2010, some of the law firms, some foreign law firms, they applied to FIPB. Now, FIPB, currently we don't have FIPB. FIPB used to be Foreign Investment Promotion Board. And under the old various, under previous RBI circulars, you could have applied to FIPB also for opening any kind of a branch office or any foreign office in India. So some law firms had applied to FIPB seeking permission to open their licensing offices, mind you, licensing offices in India. And what they intended to do by licensing was that they said that we are not going to practice in India, but we are only going to act as a conduit pipe between our clients in India and our main offices which are outside India. With that intent, they applied for permission. Now FIPB declined the permission; they rejected their permission. Then it is very surprising to note that for some reason they went to RBI in 2000 around 2010, and RBI gave them permission to open the office, to open the license office, which was very surprising. So immediately somebody challenged in Madras High Court. Now there was already a Bombay High Court judgment which was in appeal in Supreme Court, but in between of this RBI came out with this circular. Now, because that Bombay High Court judgment was in Supreme Court came out with an interim notification directing RBI not to proceed with that circular, in which it
Okay.
had given the permission to open the license office. Now, subsequently, somebody challenged in Madras also, in Madras High Court. And in 2010, Madras High Court also gave a similar judgment like Bombay High Court, prohibiting the foreign lawyers to come and practice in India. Now, both these judgments, the Madras High Court judgments and the Supreme Court judgment, was taken by Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court ruled on 3 or 4 very interesting issues. First, they said that foreign lawyers absolutely cannot come and practice in India. Secondly, they said that before this judgment, there was a concept of fly in and fly out. Like typically what happens in an M&A transactions or in any commercial transactions, uh, foreign lawyers come because they have their foreign clients who are operating in India. So in order to advise them, they come and they go out. They used to call this as fly in and fly out. Madras High Court in their judgment had allowed this concept of fly in, fly out. Supreme Court said that okay, this fly in, fly out concept I can understand, but it can only be a casual one. It cannot be used on a regular basis by foreign lawyers to start coming in India on a regular basis. Then the third issue was on the international commercial arbitrations. Madras High Court to some extent had given liberties to foreign lawyers to come and practice in India, not practice in India, to advise their clients on international commercial arbitrations.
Correct.
The Supreme Court said that okay, fine, but then it said that it cannot be taken as a grant. It cannot be for a granted right to foreign lawyers, and it directed Bar Council of India to make some rules around it, even though it did not prohibit absolutely to a bar on the foreign lawyers to come and practice in India. Then fourth thing was a small point on the BPO thing. So there was an issue that some of the BPOs were also parties to this, and LPOs basically, not BPOs, LPOs. So, but LPOs gave an affidavit saying that we are not doing any kind of a legal practice. All we are doing is some kind of a clerical and admin work. So that was okay. Now with this, Supreme Court came out in a judgment in 2018 prohibiting foreign lawyers from practicing in India. Because of that, RBI ideally is what I feel. In 2018 itself, RBI should have come out with a notification, because in 2015 there was a circular by RBI saying that because RBI had earlier permitted those foreign law firms to open an office in India, and because of which there was a case and Supreme Court had granted an interim stay. Because of that interim stay in 2015, RBI had issued a circular to authorized dealers saying that please don't give any permission to any foreign law firms to open their license office in India. So that one can still understand. Now in 2018, Supreme Court came out with a final judgment. The law was very clear that foreign lawyers are not allowed to practice in India. So in 2018, maybe RBI should have come out with this circular as a follow-up circular to their earlier circular. But for some reason they have come now 2020. I mean, I don't know what's the reason why why not 2018 and why 2020. But the issue is a settled issue. So there is no new law which has come out with. So it is not something new. It is not surprising. I mean, maybe it's just a procedural issue with which RBI may have come out with this circular. So does that clarify any other?
Absolutely. So from what I understand, basically the issue has always been settled. There is no new position of law that the RBI has conveyed. It's just that the timing is slightly peculiar.
One can say timing is surprising as to why now, but yeah, issue is always settled, and even otherwise, the foreign lawyers were never allowed to practice in India.
Okay. All right. Understood. Thank you so very much for clarifying this, sir. Thanks,
Krishnan. Bye.
Bye, sir.